welcome back to my channel. Guess what we're doing today? Well, I guess you could tell by the title, right? Mini apple pies. Oh, they're so delicious. I love to bake more than cooking. We went apple picking, my family and I came back home with a lot of apples, like a lot. So I came back home with 12 kilograms. I'll put how much that makes in pounds because I don't know, but it's a lot. Like, I still have apples left. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have to figure out things to do with these apples. Anyways, I went apple picking and decided to do mini apple pies. And then I had some dough left and some filling left, so I made this huge apple something. I don't know what I would call that, but it's good too. I mean, it's the same recipe. It's just a different format, but it's really good. It's really good. So if you want to see how I did my mini apple pies and follow the recipe to the T. Okay, let me stop. Keep on watching. I discovered that I don't only like Macintosh apples. I actually discovered the Courtland. It's really good. So those are the ones that I used today, but you can also use Granny Smith or whichever apple you like. Okay, so this time I decided to aerate the flour. I know it's not the same thing as sifting, but it's my way of making sure that I didn't take too much flour for this recipe. But if you want, you can sift your flour. Also, throughout the video, if you see that I put how many seconds or minutes it took for me to mix my ingredients, it's just because I sped up the video and it's not the actual speed of the stand mixer. Most of the process, the stand mixer is either on 1 or 2, but it never goes faster than that. Just so you know. Make sure your butter is cold. Like, as you can see, I was struggling a bit, but you want your butter to be really cold. And be careful with that knife. Yes, I only used water that was in the fridge that is ice cold or cold. I don't have ice cubes in my water, but it does the job. Sorry, I was having a debate with some of my friends, and that came up to a discussion. Cold water is sufficient. I must say I did try doing that dough with Crisco a couple of weeks ago, but I do prefer the dough when it's made with butter. So while I'm going to be working with half of that dough, I'm putting the other half in the fridge just so that the butter doesn't get up to room temperature and that I have enough time to work with the first dough. See this bag?
I didn't even use the apples that were in this bag. I'm actually using the ones behind me, which are these ones. I really didn't know what to do with these apples. I just ended up eating them, and it's so much better than store-bought. I'm sorry, but they don't have that waxy film because you picked them right off that tree. Oh, and make sure you have real lemons. I just ran out of them. I didn't feel like going to the store just for lemons. Man, the moment you add that cinnamon, oh man, it smells so good. And every time you add an ingredient, always mix and then add more instead of adding a bunch and then mixing. To me, it just makes it melt in better. It's probably just my perception. The dancing doesn't stop, people. It also works for cooking videos. So once I found a mug that was wide enough, that's what I used to cut my little circles. I didn't have anything else to cut them, but it does the job. When you're cutting your strips, you can also use a pizza cutter. I just didn't think about it at the time, but a pizza cutter is actually better. Oh, and a little tip from me, clean as you go, because otherwise it'll just be a huge mess and you won't want to be cleaning when you smell the deliciousness that you're baking. I'm not a huge fan of eggs, so I didn't do no egg wash, but you can also do water wash and it does just the same to me anyway. But I forgot to do it all together. It's all right.
You guys enjoyed this video. I hope you try the recipe. At some point, I think I folded the dough like way too much, so it kind of puffed up even more. But other than that, I mean, it tastes just as good. I'm just saying. If you try the recipe, let me know as well. I want to see what you think, how it tastes. I'm pretty sure it tastes good, but let me know. All right, you guys have a good one. I hope to see you on the next one.